3, 2, 1. Welcome to the 225 podcast with your favorite host, Noah Ray, Andrew Cargill, and me, Matthew Elvis.
Did you bring me here? I'm joking. It is the late night session.
Yes, we love them late.
Your mic's not pointed at you.
I mean, it doesn't. At this point, I don't use all three mics for the audio.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Insider.
So that I'm sure you can tell I use an AI for the audio, and like this mic or that mic picks up so much.
They're pretty much the same.
Like these mics are good, but they're not great, and so I'm able to kind of get away with solid audio only using two mics.
Yeah.
But it just depends. Sometimes I do three, sometimes I do two.
Yeah.
I've never done one, but I've done some weird stuff before. Editing.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, we don't have an energy drink because it is like 9
Freaking 8:46. This would have been a good episode to do that new ghost hydration thing, but we can just tell you now it's terrible.
Well, the Sour Patch Kids flavor was.
Yeah.
I heard the other flavors are pretty good, but that one I heard is.
My sister sent me a picture of them at Kroger. They had like pallets, like thousands of every flavor at Kroger.
Thousands at one Kroger? That's a lot.
You could be hydrated.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I use Element.
Not sponsored.
Well,
We're not going to sell Marble.
We
that's
had
next sponsor. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Holy
things
cow! Wait, he wasn't joking.
Yeah, I was about to say, watch the
Oh
tone.
my
You can't
God.
see it.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't
can
see
act like
it.
you can.
And we're not gonna put it up there.
But yeah, we do have a lot of fun things to talk about. A lot of people are talking about raw nats QTs for USAPL 2025. Drew was at bench nats. Cnats registration opened up already. Pretty much at the lifter cap for Cnats already. So if you didn't get in, that sucks to suck. I don't really feel bad at all. Well, because I mean, if you can't set an alarm for 5 p.m., like
Yeah, I'm
really
looking at it right now.
After the past 2 years, you should have pieced it together.
you should know. Even at raw nats this year, like you should have been awake and woken. Like I set an alarm for 11:55 in the morning, or I guess technically at night. But yeah, so I woke up and then signed up for raw nats.
I mean, it's not. I haven't heard anyone complaining about missing it yet because I think it was such a reasonable time. I think midnight is stupid. Like,
Yeah, I don't get why they did
respectfully,
that.
There was no need for that. I'm looking to see if it's like capped yet or not.
I know after 8 minutes there was over 800 people because I looked.
That's
I was
crazy.
done at my registration at like 5:04. Then I was with some other people at school and I talked to them, and then I looked at 5:08 and there was like 825 people or something like that.
Bro, I'm wondering what the spectator is going to be, bro. It's going to be so expensive, I bet.
Yeah, they're probably gonna make it probably over 25.
KSU gets one free coach's pass.
Yeah, that's insane. Each club or team
is
getting
crazy.
one coach is ridiculous. Because also you have to think, I mean, we don't have any equipped people, but like some people bring.
one.
Equipped, you can't do one coach.
I know, that's
You
what I'm
can't.
saying.
You
Like
can't
these,
do that.
you have to pay for the coaches pass for all
miserable.
these people, and it's like, really, you're
You
letting.
should be
I say 3.
per division. You should get a coach. So for
At
men's
least.
raw collegiate, you
At
should
least.
get one. For women's raw collegiate,
Oh
you should
yeah,
get one.
yeah. I
That's
thought
how
you meant
I
just
think.
raw and ill-equipped. I was like, at least
No.
2.
But we'll see. I mean, that we know USAPL knows how to run a national meet. For the most part, they've streamed them well.
I think the streams have been pretty good.
So
on
like
the
I'm
nationals.
not really worried. What I did, this is my first national meet. You can
Mine too.
put information in your lifter bio.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I want to put like 5-time world champion.
They look up Matthew Albazati, they're like, what?
Like, who is this
What
guy?
world is he winning, bro?
But
It's like Horton Here's a Hue, Horton
Yeah,
Here's a
yeah.
Who, that little speck. That's Matthew's world he's winning.
literally, Noah's my world. But
Oh.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
There
That's
can
really
only be
funny.
one.
Yeah, there can only be one. You know what I'm talking about. There can only be one.
But yeah, talk
You
about
get what
bench
I'm talking
nats.
about? Just kidding.
Talk about bench
Yeah.
nats.
PA bench nats.
Yeah,
Powerlifting America. Powerlifting America bench nuts. It was a blast. Went there this week. Yeah, that was this weekend.
It's been such a blur.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro was
where
there
I'm
4
at.
days ago. It seems like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, today's Thursday, and I thought today was Monday for about 6 hours. But went to Austin, Texas. Went to Bench Nationals. Flew in early Saturday morning. Got there.
So did you fly the plane?
I did, actually. I was captain. Co-captain, actually. Co-captain. Got there.
You know who drove.
Yeah. When we got there, day one Saturday was raw. We didn't have anybody except for James, my coach. He competed, benched 402 on the platform, which I don't know if that's I know it's a meet PR. I don't know if it's a PR general, though, because I think he said he hit something a little bit. I think he might have hit 407 or something in training. Anyways, that went good, but we were there mostly for the equip day on Sunday, which was a blast. I think we had maybe 8 or so lifters for my gym.
There was a lot.
Yeah, which
I
mean, that was
recognized a lot of people from meeting it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we
there
were
was a
watching
bunch
at
of
home.
people. It was a really fun, quick meet. They had 3 sessions a day. Each session was done in under an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
The one thing about bench meets we were talking about is like, it's so hard to take it seriously. It's like you just bench.
Yeah, I know.
That was the motto this entire weekend is it's just bench.
Yeah.
It's easy. All you have to do is bench.
And I think, at least for me, maybe not for everyone, but bench is like
That's the calmest
usually
lift.
the most like
And that's
not
everywhere.
relaxing.
Bench is when I get naked. It's where I recover. The smoothie, of course. Like it's I'm like I'm just chilling on bench.
Yeah, like it's fun. Obviously, you have to still take it seriously, but I think, usually, equipped is a little different, but bench is not the heaviest. It's I don't. I mean,
Alaska's equipped is different.
Yeah, it's very different. So maybe they look at it differently, but at least for me, it's like after squat, I'm like, okay, time to dial in for bench, but like,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
It's a
I
build up
also
to
like
deadlift.
for most lifters and me specifically, bench is a lift where I'm not really overshooting it. So like I'm really just building my total on bench. So I like even for you and like most of those 5 to 10 kilo jumps on bench, I'd rather play conservative because for me on my deadlift I can just raise it 2.5 keys. And I know that 2.5 keys will be there on deadlift much more likely than it will be on bench. So I don't go into bench being like, oh, let me take a 10 kilo jump for my third attempt, but it's probably a 5, to 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, yeah, it was Bench Nationals. It was fun. Most people were there a lot, kind of messing around because Bench World is being hosted back in Austin, Texas, I believe either May or June. I think it's early June. I could be wrong. My dad
pretty
and
sure I saw
sister, yeah, I think my dad and sister both qualified for the Worlds team for that, so they're probably going to do it most likely. I think they're still kind of debating on it. But the big thing was, it's just really fun meet. That's kind of what it was. It's fun meet. They're doing Bench Worlds here. Like, why not?
You got to do the Alico thing. Tell them
Yeah,
about
I was wanting to bring back that.
I'm so upset you didn't buy me one.
I know.
Like,
He
I'm
is, too.
genuinely so upset.
I know.
said
That is such a clean.
I do feel pimping wearing
That's
it.
such
I'm
a
not gonna
clean
lie.
I bet you he didn't want to. He was like, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever bought.
I don't think I could
know
have grabbed it, find either of y'all sizes. I'm willing to bet. So this is a 2XL. I would probably have to
literally
get
what
you
it
like a quadruple. No, I'm saying that respectfully, in a sense of this 2X is fitting like an XL, and the triple X probably would have been a little bit bigger. I will go into a backstory on this, but Lico Barbecue. So Saturday
I would
night,
love to go there.
it was insane. So
That
there
would've been
were
really
a
cool.
couple hundred people there.
Were the picnic tables like the benches at Lico benches?
That would have been awesome. But for those who don't know, Alico has a headquarters in Austin, Texas, which is more like a distribution hub. I don't think they build any of the stuff there. I could be wrong though. But
Are they made in America? USA?
no, they're a Swedish company.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
Sweden.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I
Yeah.
Yeah, Lico and Volvo.
Oh, it's Alico. It's not Alico. I did.
No, I'm never gonna call it
I
Alico.
know, and I
Yeah.
hated it.
It's
The
stupid.
Swedish guy that told me that, I'm like, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're Swedish.
actually.
well, you're Swedish.
Yeah, I'm
You won
like
the war.
Urban Schnurben
Yeah.
Flerbener, okay? Urban Schnurben.
Sherman is cool, bro.
Swedish, dude.
Does that actually mean something?
I have no idea.
No, you made
It was
that.
pretty close though. You thought it was. You thought it was. Anyways,
funny.
it was absolute blast. After the Raw session on Saturday, all of us went to the Lico barbecue. A lot of
Raw
us, not all of us. Huh?
The raw session.
Are you farting right now?
No, that's the
Oh.
coach.
I'm not
But,
ripping ass, bro.
yeah, my fault.
What the hell?
But like there were a couple hundreds of people there. It was beer, barbecue. Barbecue was fantastic. Like Texas, that's the first time I've ever been to Texas, and the barbecue held up to their name.
Is
Texas
it
is
true
dope.
everything is bigger in Texas?
It was yes.
Texas is so much
It
fun.
was fantastic. I mean, all I had was an Alico barbecue. They're like, yeah, we started this 40 hours ago. They had a bunch of things of brisket, pork ribs, sausage. Like they just
So
had a
there
bunch
was
of
food?
stuff.
aside from weightlifting equipment that you ate?
Bro, just gnawing on the metal. The blue pad was.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I heard y'all done. My fault. My fault. I want to intervene at all. Anyways, this barbecue super fun. They had this quick funny story. So they had a little shop, of course, naturally. So, but they had a discount bin. I don't think I've told you all this yet.
You told me this actually.
I did.
you
Did I
told
show you
both
all
of us
the?
this.
Oh, I did. All right. Well,
You showed me the picture.
I did. Okay. Did I show you the picture?
No.
Oh, it's really funny. I'll show you in a second. Anyways, they had
We
a
just pulled
discount
up.
bin. Yeah. No. That's
Right
not can't pull now. They had a discount bin where all these T-shirts were $10.
Y'all realize
like, oh
no
my
one watches, right?
Yeah, but they may because
You say that, but we've got
I
more
watch.
views on YouTube than we do on Spotify.
No, but like everyone who tells me they watch, they're like, yeah, just listen. What do you guys really do? Anyway, you're saying?
Anyway, so Matt
myself.
wants to be a Debbie
That was good
Downer,
hearing
as per
something
usual. The discount bin, short story, words.
Take your time.
I grabbed a bunch of stuff, grabbed a bunch of clothes, I grabbed extra larges. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm stacked. I'm set, and I'm ready to go.
didn't think to try anything on.
No, because it's extra larges.
Or just look at it.
I'm like, worst case scenario, well, it's in a plastic sleeve thing.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, it's a European sizing. It's a little bit too small for, it would be like a large. Cool. Go to our hotel. I'm like, I'm going to do a fashion show. I got to try all these on.
How many did you buy?
I think I bought 6. 2 of them were triple X's for my dad. Those were somewhat close for him. But anyways, first one I come on is a large white Alico shirt. Like, all right, cool. It's going to be a little snug. That's all right. Doesn't get below my nipple. I was wearing a see-through sports bra.
Will you have a photo of it?
Not of that one.
Ugh.
The only one, like, it's a see-through
You know that- where
sports
that would
bra.
go.
That would...
Did you bring me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the...
I wish I could just say it, but that's a little too much.
Then the next one was another extra large. I bring it down, and it comes right with it. It's a women's cut extra
Those
large.
nips are out.
It's basically a small, and my nip just peckers are out.
Peckers? What?
Not the pecker.
Your pecker?
Your
is out?
pecs. The pecs. The pecs.
The only thing you were wearing? Oh my
I
god.
hardly nowhere. Pecker.
Oh.
Anyways, so I bought a bunch of shirts, and I did not end up with them. So all my younger sisters just got hooked up with a bunch of Lico gear they didn't care to have.
Yeah.
Because they don't
The
even
cheer
know.
ones?
Yeah.
That's
Catherine might get some of them. I don't know. But, yeah.
She went up a weight class, right?
Yeah.
What
In like
she
a
not, is
day,
she
Fast. Yeah.
74
She was
or
holding on.
was she is she 69? I
She
forget.
was to 69,
then
going up to 76.
76.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you told me it was like
yeah, it was
really
like
fast.
3 days. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, she like just competed. And
Yeah.
she came over. Watching them interact is the funniest thing. But she came over because she like cooked stuff that she didn't like, and she gave it to Drew. And she was like, "Yeah, I already filled out my class." I'm like, "You put in like 8 kilos in like a week. Like that's
You couldn't tell.
crazy."
Yeah.
Like she does. It was very surprising.
It was crazy when you put on a kilo. We could tell.
Yeah. Anyways, it was super fun. Met a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a long time. Met some. of the
Wait, you met
world's
a
coaches.
bunch of people that you haven't seen in a long time.
Drew's gonna walk
I'm
off.
already ready for this podcast then. I'm already ready for it to be over. I'm cool if we just stop now. I can go eat my pub sub.
You bought a pub sub and didn't eat it yet?
No, it's just right over there. I literally ate 20 minutes before we walked to Publix.
All right, just tell us about the people that you met that you hadn't
I
seen in
don't
a
get
long
it. Just
time.
get to next. I'm ready to just talk about QTs now.
No. Okay, Drew, we're done.
No,
baby.
go and yell Yap Fest. I'm done with the
Y'all
talk.
both
I've said what I
guys.
need to do.
We need to have a no phone family time.
Well, I've
before
already
the
said what I
podcast.
need to do.
It's been a pretty shitty day, so I'd like if you just
Tell me about
toughed it out.
Hey,
He's at the shit.
Mine definitely probably tops yours.
maybe.
Yeah.
No, I've heard a little bit. That's fair.
Yeah.
I won't bring it up. It sounds like you've had a great day, Matthew. You should go ahead and continue, though.
What is there to talk about?
What our whole topic is for this episode?
Yeah. So basically,
basi-
we were going to talk about the USAPL Raw Nats QTs.
Let's do cnats first, because that's kind of quick, and then
Okay.
Raw Nats QTs. I mean, not really much to say with cnats.
I wish I would have just said something, but
Yeah. I mean, I registered, he registered. It wasn't. I thought the website was going to go down, but it
thought
didn't.
it was too.
So that was really nice.
800 people in 8 minutes. That's a
That's
lot
crazy.
of traffic on USAPL's
Yeah.
website.
I mean, hey, kudos to them. This is their biggest meet ever. Yeah.
Raw Nats is really
No, 1350. Raw Nats was 1100.
I thought Raw Nats this year was like 2300.
No.
Was I wrong? Did
Yeah.
I get them one off? I thought it was more
So-
than that. Oh, well.
Cool.
my bad.
Cameron, the USAPL Collegiate Chair, said, "We're ready to throw our biggest meet ever." So that's gonna be interesting. TSS is sponsoring it again. I am not looking forward to competing with those plates.
Yeah, I did it the Olympics.
Because remember when we were at the Olympia and I was talking to like a USAPL rep.
They
and I was
misloaded
like,
it.
Well, I was like, "Hey, like, are we stuck with these Johns?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Bruh." But hey, it's my last meet with them, so and first and last meet with them. But so yeah, that's something. I think it'll be a good meet. It's in our city. We've talked about it for honestly the past year that it's an Atlanta meet. Really just
We
excited
gotta
to see.
execute. I already have a bunch of the other 110s yapping, so we're all friends except for one. But he's just gonna be taking pictures of us on the podium, so it's all right. That's that.
Yeah,
But-
literally.
But
just
me,
kidding.
Bryce, and Spencer have been talking. Not very much yet, but we all kind of slid into each other's DMs.
Bryce saying like a word is a lot for Bryce. So.
Yeah.
And Bryce, he
That's
said
all love,
2
by the way.
words.
I love
Oh my
Bryce.
gosh.
And Bryce said 2 words, and I was like,
Real
whoa.
quick,
I was
this
like,
made my
oh,
day in
yeah.
Texas when Bryce, he just randomly, out of nowhere, I need to find
Y'all
it.
see Bryce's energy drink review? He just sent a photo and said 5 out of
It's just a
10.
picture.
And I was like, this is so incredible.
Yeah.
I'd randomly get sent this. And the Berserker guy are in the same state when we aren't home.
That's so funny.
But yeah,
Bryce
Bryce,
is
is so
funny.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love Bryce.
He's a good guy. But yeah,
He's a great guy.
I think there's over 50 110s for CNATs ready.
I haven't even checked, bro.
There's over 50.
I'm also not going, I'm not.
Probably.
I want top 20, but I'm also not going to look up every 82 and be like, what are you doing? It's like, also like, there's really solid 82 comp in the Southeast that I'm aware of that I'm like, so some guy from Midland's probably going to win, Oh, shock.
Yeah, I mean, me and Bryce are going to be fighting for that podium spot. None of that's guaranteed. There's a lot of people going into it. I know Bryce totaled 800. There's a lot of people going into it over an 810 kilo total. So it was funny. I looked up the state records for like Georgia, and the guy who got second at CNATS 3 years ago on 110 totaled 820. He got second. Now that's like barely gonna podium.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you may not podium totaling 820 right now.
800's like the total. The 74 is in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, so like, but that's kind of where the sport's going. Is it's so much more competitive now for all weight classes. I mean, not just 110. I'm sure it's the same thing for 82,
Yeah.
100, wherever you go. It's now not a thing of there's just like one freak and he's in this one weight class. Everyone has freaks now.
Yeah.
Everyone has people that are pushing those 500 dots at the collegiate level, pushing the 5 teens, 520s, even that 530 mark, and even higher. I mean, Joe Bornstein's 20ish, and he had like what 560,
No, he has to be higher if he's 20.
570,
He's pretty high. I mean, he's also just
something like that. Regardless, but I know he's not
Street
doing CNATs, but
He's
there.
he told me we trained with him.
Yeah.
None of you were there. I trained with him in Florida. He like nodded his head after one of my deadlifts. I was like, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
But bro, I was about to search for Joe. I don't even need to search for him. I can just scroll. But he was like, yeah, I'm not doing that if there's no money. And I was like, damn.
And I mean, he's
He's
a
20 in
freak.
the world, 575 dots.
Yeah, 575 dots, and he knows that is freaky. That's like a different level of freak. But now the playing field is if you're not pushing that 490 plus dots, you're not going to podium anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to be pushing that 490, and for 110s, that's like an 820 to 830 minimum total. 835 at like 107 is a 500 dots. So it's like the competition is gonna be crazy. I know what Bryce, he brought it up on the podcast or another podcast that he wants to total between the 820, 830. That's where I'm looking at too. So it's gonna come down to his final deadlift if we both have a perfect meet, which sucks because
No, bro, it's like I don't get why you're like on that train. It doesn't. If you squat more, It's
No,
gonna come
I'm
down.
saying it as a joke. Like I'm not like actually butthurt
I'm
about
like
it.
the math is still there.
Yeah, I mean, I squat a lot more. I don't know what my bench is going to be. I haven't had any like heavy singles or anything in a while. But I know he's going to be pushing that 450-ish mark, and that's crazy. So, but I think I'm going to squat quite a bit more. He'll obviously deadlift quite a bit more, and our bench is probably within 10, 15 pounds.
It's gonna be who benches more and who gets the last pull.
Yeah.
Right? Because like
And also he
obviously,
goes 9 for 9. Like if he misses a third squat, he's not. I don't think.
bro. And you know what's one thing? And like,
But
I
me
know,
too. If I miss a
know
third
it's
squat,
all love between you and Bryce.
Oh, definitely.
But the second, and this is how with any competitor, the second Bryce misses a lift, not wishing that upon him, you would be like, oh, it's over.
It's game time.
Like
it's
I'm not gonna
it.
say who, but there was a meet I was at where one lifter weighed in over and had to spit, and the other lifter in competition was like, "Oh, it's already over."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that was like a cold moment,
Yeah.
But like, and not to say that the meet could have gone one way or another, but just to that one lifter, the mental like freedom it gave. He's like, "Oh, his day's already started like wrong." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come in and just like." Win. And that lifter won.
Yeah.
But it's just something I think about.
And I
super
really
interesting.
think we are going to be so close.
Yeah.
I don't know how his training's going, but kind of where me and Petrie have my training.
Everything
going.
I'm doing is just to figure out more about his training.
That's
That's a joke.
Set up.
That's a joke.
He's
not
a
a
plant.
joke.
I planted him.
No.
But yeah,
That's
I
actually
really
really
I
funny.
don't know because Bryce doesn't post. Bro, gatekeeps. Did you see what
Bryce
Jesus
is the
said about
biggest
gatekeeping?
No.
About Sheffield?
I-
He was
yeah.
like, I want people to know what I'm hitting
Yeah.
because it puts pressure on them to beat me.
That's
He's like, because they're not going to. I was like, so Bryce, post more.
Six Pack that whatever his name is, the King of the Lifts guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot because he's also like it makes his job easier when people post.
Yeah.
But he was saying the same thing to Natalie Richards. He's like, just post. Like even Kyle's been like, bro, just post. And that's how I look at it now too. Is like, I'm not people aren't looking at my totals necessarily and being like, holy cow. But like when I drop a good set, I'm like, yeah, like I want y'all to know this and I want y'all to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I was texting one of my friends who's like, we both hit 610, but I had him on body weight and I sent him my dots and his dots, and it was like by like literally like 0.30. And I go, you better get your
Get your
money
shit
up,
together.
your money up. He was
That's
like,
funny.
F off. I'm like, hey, numbers don't lie, brother.
That's so funny. Yeah, and I mean, I also think I have a lot to prove.
You have a lot.
There's
Not
a
to
lot
put
right.
pressure, but like
No, I like it though.
You've got-
I've been saying this more and more because as we're getting closer to this, pressure to privilege is something that I am living through so much, and not just because I look up to him a lot, and that's kind of one of the things that he
I mean, you're taller than him.
said a lot, but I really think, like you said, people are like, oh my God, looking at Noah, looking at Matthew, looking at Drew, but I do think that a lot of people knew I did the Olympia. A lot of people know I bombed out.
And no one knows where your training is, like where your singles are at.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm kind of all over the place.
You don't know, but like
I don't either. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I'll have days where I just like feel like I could squat 700 pounds. I have days where, like, I'm
Same.
not my double that I have. I'm not worried about it at all. I know that I'm gonna be able to execute that. I'm actually more excited for my secondary day because I don't have a cap. So
secondary days are so fun.
yeah. So but yeah, I'm hoping it won't be a PR double, but I'm hoping Petrie has me capped at 628, and I think that's gonna be like really easy.
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping for that to be like RP 7.5 ish. So that's really exciting. And then on deadlift, y'all aren't ready. Deadlift, I hope blows up. I would be
what are you hoping for?
no. Well, I'm saying like I hope I can execute and like learn.
This hope word. Get that out of
Okay.
here, bro.
Well, I am working on executing my deadlift better. And me and Petrie had a long call where
And
we
me.
did all types of stuff. No. Where we were talking about just different cues and kind of how I set up for the deadlift. Because my setup is very poor. I just try and like slam my hips as far as I can in, and that's just not how you do it, obviously. But yeah, I'm learning a lot, so I'm excited to do this prep to kind of acclimate my body to heavier weight. And like I said, just kind of learn. I want to be I want to execute as properly as I can. And I don't want something that happened at the Olympia to where I wasn't executing properly and like shit happened and all this stuff. That's not gonna happen again. So I'm really excited that I've had the opportunity to work with Petrie, and I do put a lot of pressure on myself. But like I said, I think that pressure. I actually was talking about Brian about this today. He was like, well, I won't say what he said. We were just talking about prep, about how like it can be stressful and
the Brian I played Fortnite with?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. Brian from PSB.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian. I
yeah.
love Brian.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's so nice. But we were just talking about like prep and how it can be stressful and kind of your mindset going into prep can kind of make or break it. Like if you look at it as this super stressful thing that like takes over your life, then it's gonna be that thing. But if you look at it as I'm excited because I get to move my life around to make sure my prep goes well so I can execute and like have the best meet day I possibly can. So I think there's like multiple ways to look at it. And we were just talking about that, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't a super long conversation, but I think we both had some really good points. And also, he brought up Tilly picks, so I may have to bring those back because I've had like 3 people be like, "Where's the daily Tilly pick?"
But other people were posting daily Tilly pics because you.
Yeah, I know. Me no Tilly posted the Tilly pick. That was so funny. But maybe those will come back. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a poll.
So the big meat of today, raw nats.
Oh, yeah, we haven't
cheese.
talked about
I
that
think
yet.
we all have different opinions. So I'm not going to hand the mic because there's no mic to hand. But Drew, if you want to talk about, well, first, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows. Everyone in powerlifting has been
Oh, yeah.
peeing their pants about it. But USAPL drastically bumped the qualifying totals for raw
By a
nats.
lot.
I mean, everyone knows about it. But Drew, what you got about that? Let me pull them up just for myself.
They're really high.
In my opinion, what they announced them 3 days ago.
Yeah, recently.
So they announced the new QTs for raw nuts, and they jumped them up a lot. For reference, I think between all 3 of us, the average dots you have to have is around 490 to 500. So
It's about
essentially,
500.
Oh, I need like.
okay, you
it's
need
like
like 518,
516,
someone needs 519 or 490. It's about 500 dots. So either way, you basically have to have your pro card to go to raw nats as far as 2025, which, I mean, we've already talked about that. I've told y'all what I think. I think it's a good idea. I think it's what nationals kind of should be. Because I think nationals, you need to reclaim what a national level athlete is. Because respectfully, I've seen just some people down like they should not be here or whatever, and it doesn't make that much sense. But my problem with it is USAPL did it 2 years too late, and I've told them this. They should have done these changes 2 years ago when they left the IPF. That was the time to make changes. But now you're at a point in the powerlifting community where people are looking for a reason to leave, and they've wasted their time too much. Yeah, people were like they're too low this year, and now the USAPL comes back and fix it. People are gonna be all whiny moany about it and leave. Because, I mean, they're looking for a reason out, in my opinion. I mean, that's just how it is. I hate to say it because I do think USAPL should have done this. I think it's a good idea, but I think they should have done it 2 years ago when it would have been a fresh concept where PA isn't as large of a name it is now. And it's a more implemented concept over the past 2 years where it's understood. You just got into this 2 years ago where you've been like, oh my gosh, I have to get a pro card to get to actual nationals. Where it's raw nats is now a much, much bigger deal. And I think I actually saw someone pulled up the statistics because we talked about this. Only 38% of the people that qualified, or 38% of the people signed up for 2024 are eligible for 2025. I believe it was 54% was female, 46% were male. It was like this huge breakdown of everything. It was really fascinating. But 38% of about 1,200, so about 40%. So you're talking about 4,800, about 500, a little bit less. I mean, that's still a solid meet. Obviously, it's a smaller national, smaller than what USAPL has done, but I think it would be really good. And I think there's a lot of things that could come with it if they're able to hold. Even if it is that 500-600 lifters, you could still hold a great meet. But it's what caliber of meet is it going to be? Is it going to be at a good venue spot? Is it going to be at a good location? Because it's at Salt Lake. See,
Well, it's Salt Lake City this year. I don't know.
Salt
about
Lake City
next
this year, yeah. I mean, so where are they going to host this? Is it going to be a good venue if you're planning to lose that many athletes? Is it going to be ghost town? Because someone brought this up of you can either have this meet in really nice locations like Las Vegas, but it's super expensive to go there, be there, or you can have it in a ghost town where it's expensive to get there and it's just kind of a hassle where there's not much going on. So I think it's interesting, but I think it's a good idea, but it's implemented too late.
Bad timing, yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. I also think it'll be interesting because now the biggest meet that people can do without having to be basically a pro is regionals. So I'm really interested to see
about that.
what regionals is next year. I know this year regionals open today, and like Jess signed up for it. A few other
It's
people
already
from Kennesaw signed
pre-filled up.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see. I think there's going to be QTs next year for regionals, so it's also going to bring kind of something that I think we've talked about of bringing, instead of having all of these small local meets, having the big state meet, the big regional meet, and then the big nationals meet. I think giving people like a pathway, and this is something I don't know, like what, this was a long time ago that me and Drew talked about this. We were just like talking about PA and kind of like plans and stuff, and we both kind of agreed that I think that's a really cool idea, is like having local meets or like high school meets for people to kind of, get involved in the sport and kind of feel it out.
Meets
But then,
at high schools, not high school aged people meets.
well, that too. I was kind of saying high school
okay.
people meets.
Keep the local level more recreational.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. And kind of keep that just really like you said, recreational lifting. But I think having the funnel to be raw nats and having regionals be a much bigger deal, because like people that did regionals to get the 50 kilo bump into raw nats, what is the point of going to raw
Those
nats
aren't
if
the
you
people to
can't,
go to
like,
nationals.
Yeah, you can't, and they're still doing that, which I think is really silly. But if you can't qualify, even get the QT, why would, I'm sorry, but that just seems like fake to me and to go. So I get, for me personally, I think that's really silly. But I think like as having that funnel and making states a bigger deal, like I think that's so cool. And having, let's see who like wins states. Let's see the top 10 best lifters of states and get kind of like these state rivalries going to where maybe one day there's like a regionals, but it's like by the state. Like they invite 10 people per state. And, we got 10 from Georgia,
Got
Florida,
divisions,
Mississippi.
conferences. And
Yeah,
stuff
like
that.
I think that is such a cool idea. But like Drew said, I completely agree. It happened 2 years too late. I think now there's a lot of people that, I mean, if you're pushing that 500 dots, like the junior QT for 110 and open are the same. If I'm a junior pushing over 500 dots, I'm going to try and go to Worlds because that's a realistic expectation. Like having, if you have, that 5 to 530 dots as a junior, I'm sorry, but I have bigger things to now deal with than nationals.
Yeah.
And for, like, at least I think that, maybe not everyone thinks like that, but I think there's a more realistic aspect of going to Worlds at that point. So, and it's also, it killed junior nats because if I'm going to have the same QT, why would I do junior nats? That makes literally zero sense.
Because literally they're both the same
It's
qualifications.
the same
now.
QT. Like, I'd be going against the same people, just younger. Like, that doesn't,
I think the junior ones are too high.
yeah,
Because
I think,
like the junior 82 and opens 20 keys difference. Yours is the
ours is
same.
none. 832
Yeah,
and a
that's
half.
crazy.
At CNATS, there was only like, I think 3 or 4 people at CNATS that totaled over 830. Like that's big, and 830 total is fat in the 110. That's like a 496 dots or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I'm sorry, but there's not. It's just that's just not realistic for a major. And not that nationals should be realistic,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that's really really high for a junior level national.
Yeah.
I think.
So what I kind of think is there's a lot of different like perspectives I've seen on the internet. One, I think, the QTs did need to be raised. I also think like a simpler fix would have been you have to just qualify for the QT before you register. I think there's times where it could be helpful, but also like, again, kind of like you said, if you if you don't hit the QT and you need an extra 50 keys to hit it, or if you're someone who really like, I had an interesting situation and I'll admit to it, but like if you're a month out and you need to hit the QT and then go hit the meet, it's like, why are you doing that? And so I think that's like one thing that could have been avoided, but also, and this is what your coach said, and I really, really liked this, but I don't think nationals should be the be all end all meet in America, because like realistically for Powerlifting America, you have PA Nats and then you have Worlds. So it makes sense that PA Nats is going to be a bigger meet, but there is something more. USAPL has this pro series. Apparently they have stuff in the works, but honestly, I think, make Nats a little bit smaller, but still obtainable for people to go. Also, it is a huge source of revenue for USAPL that they're now cutting over in half, to a third. And, it's kind of just primetime flights, which is cool, but also USAPL, you're losing most of your big lifters. So, like, I'm not really, like, again, this year I'll probably watch it because you're going to be there and stuff like that. But in terms of, like, the primetime flights, I'm really not interested because my, favorite lifters are now Powerlifting America. So I think you're making it really, really difficult to go to nationals because a lot of people will choose their federation based on the attainability of going to nationals. And so I think, obviously PA is at a point where it's just the bar, or eventually it's going to be moved to something lower, but they do also have Worlds as the next step. I think USAPL should have a next step after nationals because, like, for me, my whole goal in powerlifting was to go to cnats. That was my goal. It wasn't to win.
I wonder what they're going to do to cnats totals.
No, I know. It wasn't to go to local meets. It wasn't any of that. The cnats totals are going to go skyrocketed because 1,350 people, bro. That's insane. I also think the way they do the cnats is dumb. I think your school, in some manner, should have to qualify, and then your school gets a team of 12 people, or, et cetera. Because, like, there should be good representations for the schools. That's one thing they quote unquote try to do better this year, but I'm really not sure how they did that better. On paper, it made sense, but not really. But ultimately, I agree. I think USAPL did do this late, but also, like, it's not necessarily what the people wanted. And it feels like every move USAPL makes is like, everyone's like, who wanted this?
Just kind of pushing people away.
And I also think, like, you have something really cool with the Pro Series, and you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah, the Pro Series was the biggest flop.
You have pros leaving your federation. And so now, like, the only thing that your federation had to offer was a national meet for everyone. And obviously, I would say, PA Nats is getting bigger, but USAPL Nats is a very well-known thing. Lots of people want to go. Well, now those people who want to go and support aren't going. In Georgia, I think 2 people could go to open.
No juniors would have qualified.
Yeah, two people in Georgia could have gone, and we have about 15 lifters above that 480 dots. After cnats, it's probably going to be about 20, 25 lifters. And for most of them to not be able to go to junior nats,
we had 0 in Georgia.
No, I'm saying
our
even
strongest
once we
athlete,
get to
Kyle, in his last meet.
EJ and Kyle.
Well, regardless,
But yeah,
they still did not have the QT for junior net. Was it junior or open?
I don't think Kyle.
Regardless,
Yeah,
like,
I gotta be careful what I say because he'll clip it.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it as like,
It's a
this is the
yeah.
work we got to put in now.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be pushing weights that, like, you walk in
But
the
also
gym,
for Kyle, he'd probably rather go to Worlds than USAPL Nats.
and that's
that
my
means
point.
nothing.
Is if you're, Kyle's 20, pushing 5'10" dots, you have people
Brandon Jones, same way.
in similar situations. Like, Kyle is different because we see him every day, but, like, there's a lot of people that are in a very similar situation that I'd rather wear a USA SBD singlet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure 95% of the people would rather do that.
Yeah.
But now it's gonna make PA so competitive. It's gonna be crazy. I'm so excited to kind of see what the next year or two is.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna see something in powerlifting that I know has never been seen before, and the amount of competitors that are at that elite level is ridiculous.
The elite is going to be something different now. I think dots is going to be like, I think now we're gonna see 580 dots.
Yeah.
Pushing 600 is where you start to be like, those are the best. You know, I think 500
Not
dots,
freaks, but like just
the best. I think 500 dots is like, obviously you are an incredible athlete. You're very, very strong. You're very, very well accomplished.
there's a lot of people that don't never do that.
But it's going to be very saturated. You know, like I feel like a year ago, even now, there's not a lot of people you meet with 500 dots. Give it a year, a lot of people are going to be pushing that. Obviously, I don't know if we're going to be on GL points or whatever, but like, if that's our metric, we're going to base.
I mean, Doug will be there. Bryce will be there.
No, yeah.
So like a lot of these guys that we know are going to be pushing that.
That are very young and very new on their careers, and I think we're just seeing like coaching and powerlifting take a whole new level. I mean, there's so many people at the top that are all working together, trying, like, making it better. Like, we are seeing that.
I will say, do you know how much Doug pulled on his first meet in deadlift? Like 683, as like a 18 or 19-year-old on a deadlift bar at USPA. But
Yeah.
I mean, he told me that the other day, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like that's insane. Like that is stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Did you play football?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but how many? We had a state championship team, and there was maybe one person, two people that pulled above 600
But
pounds,
think,
and they were all
each-
linemen.
think each school has 1 or 2 people, each high school.
Yeah, but he's not even like a big guy.
No,
like,
I know. But I'm
It's
just
just
saying,
crazy.
like, as we see more people enter the sport, it's the same thing. If NFL guys came to powerlifting, we'd have no hope, you know?
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah,
I highly disagree with that.
I think if those NFL guys, a year in
They
the
also
sport,
would pop on a drug test, so I don't really care.
Yeah, it's also true.
Every single one of them would. So.
Well, who was
I
the
don't think
guy
that's
whose
something we gotta
guy was
worry
like
about.
just Sour Patch Kids? And
Oh yeah, he was like 6'4" and
Was it DK
shredded.
Metcalf? Is that his name?
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's
But
like,
I know
I just eat
exactly
Sour
what-
Patch Kids and coffee. And we're at, I think it was Derek from MorePlates.com was like, what?
Yeah, like that's not even Sam Solik shit. That's just
Yeah.
like, what do you don't need protein. Like he was like, oh yeah, I don't need like
He
protein.
had like 20 grams of protein a day. Or
Yeah.
something. It was,
Yeah, but he was like jacked and shredded.
yeah.
Yeah.
At
Like it was
6'4", bro.
insane.
It was-
Yeah, he was like 6'4". It was crazy.
Yeah.
I do remember because that went super viral. But yeah, regardless of the situation, I think it's really interesting. It'll be cool to kind of see where USAPL goes with this because I do think they can push regionals and make regionals not a new nationals, but that's gonna be what people strive for now.
I've got a theory. So for the past few years, this has kind of been the, like me and Dev talked about it, of USAPL and why their qualifiers haven't really gone up at all, really, in the past 2 years. And I think their plan and concept was when PA was coming about, it was still not really heard of, but when they knew they were separated from IPF, they're like, all right, we got to figure out a way to keep a lot of people. This is just a theory, but it was past 2 years we've been looking at, and we think they've kept it this low so that everybody, not everybody, but more people can qualify and consider themselves that national athlete status. I mean, I can't blame them. Like, to me as a kid, like, I mean, I went to high school nationals almost all 4 years of high school. I'm like, oh my God, I can call
Big
myself a
Biff over
national. Yeah, I'm right. Well, I was like, oh my gosh, I could call myself a national level athlete. I was nationally ranked. Like, I mean, JV, varsity, whatever you want to call it, whatever that's worth. And it was a concept I think they were trying to do the past 2 years, but to where y'all were talking about where the next step past nationals was worlds, if I had to guess what they're doing now is taking it and shifting everything back. 'Cause World Cup, that's not real. Nobody cares about the World Cup. It's not a real thing. So instead, I think
It's literally not.
I mean, it's not. Like, if I had to guess, their new strategy now is to make their nationals their world caliber meets.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to have to address it, treat it like it is, because world's meets are insane. Like, just the way the production is out of this world.
think-
It's a one platform.
Well, USAPL's production is different than PA, and you have to.
I'm talking about worlds.
No,
like
I know, but
production.
I'm saying. Yes,
Yeah.
but just taking the two entities, PA is the entity that feeds into Worlds, IPF. PA is modeled after the IPF. It's almost like golf. Like, it's incredibly clean. There's no music going. Like, it's
Yeah.
very, very, to me, it gives golf. I think USAPL.
Gino running around.
Yeah, like
and,
you have Gino and a
music
fucking
and
in devil horns and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like I
Such
think
screams,
USAPL is going to. They want their world to look like a Super Bowl or nationals. And now what I think is really cool is if regionals picks up momentum and it's assigned to be done really well, I think that's actually an incredible concept.
Yeah.
Of the okay, I think the state meet, I'll probably be there this year, but I'll be really interested to see how it's done. But if the state meet can have the caliber of like it is the best meet, like right now, I don't know if it was last year, right?
the Georgia State.
yeah, older equipment,
The best. Hell no.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I'm saying
Who's the
It's
best,
like,
Noah?
what?
Who's the best?
it needs to
Tell
be.
Dad. Yeah, give Dad.
You say tell daddy? That's
I didn't hear that.
I would undap him low key, but like that's just me. But
I'm joking.
There we go.
so like if we see that at a regional meet, get rid of this extra kilo thing. That's stupid. Like just be a
That
extra
is
kilo.
so stupid.
Like
50
okay,
kilos.
I can
Yeah, that's
understand
stupid.
complaining about the QTs because of how high they are. Just saying be a dog to that. Realistically, if I want to go to USAPL Junior Nats, I'm a relatively strong guy. I'm not crazy, but like it would probably take me 2 years until I'm the end of a junior. That's crazy. Yes, I'm a dog, whatever. I'm very passionate in training and I've picked up a lot of momentum recently, but it's also like, that's stupid. But like for regionals, bro, like be a dog. Like you don't need, really, that's at least how I see it. But I think if the state meet can be really cool, there does not need to be 2 meets a month. Like let's get rid of that. Like let's have 3 to 4 meets a year.
so aggravating.
And let's have like higher quality meets.
There are 6
then let's
meets
have like
in 8 weeks.
a state meet that's like really solid to like I want that state meet. I know it's not gonna, but to have all brand new TSS and all brand new Alico that like are only used for that meet. Like obviously that's unrealistic.
That's
but
not going to happen this year, but USAPL should step in next year.
for at least regionals, I think it should. Regionals should be backed by TSS. Are there 5 regional meets?
Sure.
5 or 6.
5 or 6. Backed by TSS, RP. Like what we saw for nationals last year, that needs to be what regionals is next year, just on a more spread out scale. Because I honestly would prefer that meet, that national meet, whatever that meet looks like, to be smaller.
I'm excited. I've never been to a regionals.
Yeah.
Jess is doing regionals.
I think this year it should be different.
It's at Meadow Creek High School. We've hosted a few meets there. I'm trying to remember if y'all been to either one.
I think
of
I
them.
have.
Yeah, I have. Wasn't it Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. Atlanta Open.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
never
what it
mind, I
was.
didn't go.
Where was the warm-up room for Atlanta Open?
Right behind all the platforms.
Oh, directly behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I set that warm-up room up. Yeah, that needs to be. I'm sorry. I hate high school meets at high schools. But I understand money and everything like that.
I will say that venue also is one of the very few high schools that actually supports powerlifting. So I'm going to give them this quick shout out. They aren't watching.
Can I say what happened?
About what?
The aftermath.
No.
Okay. The fact that they support after what happened is crazy.
Oh, no. That's not that crazy. That's not that crazy. They loved us, and we were awesome.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think
Oh, wait, that wasn't even my meet. Yeah. No.
we're gonna see a lot of movement and shifting in powerlifting. I think we're gonna see a lot more competition. I want the local level to be more competitive. I think that's awesome.
But I also think, like, I would be interested to see what the other states in collegiate, like, presidents, team captains have to say, because Kennesaw is going PA next year. I've heard rumors that other colleges are. I'm not going to speak for anyone. But I'm really interested to kind of see, because, I mean, if cnats is the biggest meet of the year, that means collegiate athletes have a really large say in what the USAPL should be doing. And
But they're not asking us. Like, not
No, they don't
once-
care, but they should.
No, I know, but like I'm just saying because this personally bothers me. Not once, as a president of a collegiate team, has USAPL ever been like, "What do you think?" Or has the state I have been asked stuff
The
about
state chairs should come down.
They've
to you, though.
asked me things, but never like, "Hey, we genuinely care about your feedback." The fact that the state chair is in that meeting and we are not is stupid. The colleges should select an individual who speaks for all of them, who knows how everyone feels, and they should be the one going. Like when all the CNATS CNATS decisions were happening at Raw Nats, I personally was furious because there was no representation for any college student. And what I'm kind of going off right now, what really bothers me is they say, you're college students, you don't know what you're doing. You're not trustworthy, you're not reliable, you're not mature, you're not responsible. That is so frustrating and such an immature way of thinking because these teams are blowing up, these teams are growing. I know universities like Midland have adults behind it, but KSU, Georgia Tech, UGA, none of those people have adults. It is all the college students who are doing everything for free. We're not getting anything back. I'm getting complaining more than anything, and we're growing these teams constantly, year after year. We've tenfolded the people on the team. We're bringing in more money. We have a fucking TSS rack, a full set of Elicos. I mean, we can set up a fucking meet tomorrow, and yet we're not responsible. Like, it's so frustrating that they give us no representation.
DNA at 12.
Because, like,
Be there.
the way that these things could work if our voices were heard for cnats, I think things would look very different. And I think they would actually have a good idea. And if you want people to stay in your federation, ask people what they want.
Drew, take notes. Seriously.
Well,
but
my
the
fed's doing
collegiate-
great right now.
I'm saying
joking.
about the
I'm
whole
joking.
collegiate backing because I do think.
Also,
like I said,
if you look at Georgia, all the money, everything is where all the colleges are going. The colleges have gone to one place because they listen to us and they do what, like, not that we want directly, but that's a perfect prime example. Every college is training at one gym because that gym has open arms policy.
DNA strength.
Like,
Shout out DNA.
Yeah, literally.
love
They
them.
have the best gym. Hey, we need a place to house our TSS. Here, build the platform, put it out, only you can use it. You know, like that's incredible what they're doing and what they're providing, and it's because they're
all
listening.
the colleges are getting practice times. Like Alex and Mike both want as many collegiate athletes to be brought together as possible, and I think it's very interesting because like I've talked to Alex about this before, and he's like, we love the energy y'all bring in. Like it's so exciting seeing because Alex recently graduated, and he was like, it's so exciting kind of seeing everyone kind of grow and everyone reciprocate energy off each other. And just having that community. And also, it's really nice because I've met people that go to other colleges that I would have never met.
No.
And I know over Instagram, and I'm going to say specifically, Tony and Doug are the two people that I really enjoy talking to at that gym.
Yeah.
And I never would have had the opportunity to talk to them if Alex and Mike were not like, hey, let's get Georgia Tech to practice, Georgia Southern to practice, Kennesaw to practice, like Emory, like, we want all of these colleges here, and we're going to do what we can to back you and support you in what you're doing. Like, we want to get TSS racks because that's what you're going to be using at Nats. Like, that's kind of the...
looks like we need some Elicos.
Well, no, but it's like they really do stuff to make sure the colleges stay winning.
Literally.
Yeah, they want us to win, and they don't see any sides. Like, they want everyone to win just as much as, he wants you to win just as much as Drew, just as much as me, just as much as, Bryce, Doug, Tony, any of those people.
And it's just like, I think from our federation, that's what we want to see. Like, even those plates.
And where's that gym going?
Literally. But, like, even those plates, something as simple as that.
April 27th.
Every lifter hates those new plates. I've, like, never heard a single person say anything good about them.
I've heard people say they're okay, but I've not seen one person that's like, oh my god, I love them.
Right. You know what I love?
Stupid.
Freaking new Elico plates. Like, those are sick.
Even the rogue plates.
Road plates
I
are
love
clean.
those at DNA too.
So it's just like, why aren't you listening? Like, as a consumer, we are the ones making the decision, and like, and from at least from a business standpoint, I see why so many gyms are failing. Obviously, gyms aren't a great industry to get into, but it's like, if you have bad equipment, I'm not gonna go there. I drive 45 minutes to an hour for a gym because I want a TSS rack with nice plates with like a nice bar.
And
Like,
also just the atmosphere there, I feel much more
Literally.
comfortable there.
Like, I can walk in, doesn't matter who's there. I know I'm always gonna have people spotting. I know I can get a handoff that I can trust, even though I'm kind of not doing handoffs anymore. On top of the fact that I always have good energy. There's always someone there who wants you to win. Like, the reason so many people fell in love with powerlifting, and I was talking to someone about this today, is because it doesn't matter who's on the platform, doesn't matter if it's an enemy, there's never once a boo. Doesn't matter what you're lifting, what your weight, everyone in that crowd, every lifter is cheering. My 600 was a perfect attempt. I beat multiple people. I think I placed over 3 people pulling that 600. Each one of them was on the side losing their mind cheering because they wanted to see me win. I wanted to see those people win. Like, the people in front of me, I was watching them instead of, like, locking in. Why are you making fun of me? I was watching them instead of locking in because I cared about those people.
I was playing block puzzle.
No, the last two I was watching. But anyway, that's just a rant. I feel like there's reasons people love this sport, and it's the support, it's the community. There's obviously some people who love to hate, and we see that. And like, there's a reason, we're doing what we're doing, and they're
And
not.
you're not.
But like, ultimately, this sport is filled with a lot of people who care about each other and want to see each other win. And like, those people will go where they go, and they're going to aggregate, and they're going to be successful. They're going to get stronger. Those gyms are going to profit. Those federations are going to do better. It's just like, constantly they don't listen to the lifters, But
Well, they listened when they wanted an anime meet.
That
out, Matthew. You're gonna
There's
have to
no
leave that
way
out.
you gotta
no,
take that out.
you
There's
literally
far
cannot say
worse
that.
things.
No, Drew, you literally cannot say that.
why don't we
I
just
say
we're gonna cut,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna cut to us saying, "Hey guys, thanks for watching."
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always,
Oh, I
we
thought
hope you appreciated our opinions, takes, comments, concerns, thoughts, Drew's feet, and anyway, we will see
actually wearing
you
shoes again.
next week for the Sheffield preview. 3, 2, 1.